So here we are, folks. 2,500 years after some guy in a toga figured out that asking questions was more dangerous than having answers, and we're still stumbling around like drunk philosophers at a strip club, wondering why our relationships have all the stability of a three-legged barstool in an earthquake. Socrates and the great female mystery. You know what Socrates really discovered? That trying to understand women is like trying to nail jello to a wall while riding a unicycle. It's technically possible, but you're gonna look like an idiot in the process. The old Greek wasn't being misogynistic, he was being realistic. Like a guy who finally admits that assembling IKEA furniture actually requires reading the instructions. Here's the thing about beauty, it's nature's original clickbait. Hot singles in your area want to meet you. Yeah, and Socrates is saying, hold up there, Romeo. That's not a woman, that's a biological pop-up ad designed to make you download some emotional malware. The Republic of Romantic Delusion. In Plato's Republic, Socrates talks about the just soul being ruled by reason. But let's be honest, most guys today have souls that look like a government shutdown. Reason's been furloughed indefinitely, and appetite is running the whole damn show like a drunken turn with administrative privileges. You want to know what's really funny? These modern men building kingdoms to impress women who wouldn't stick around if the Wi-Fi went down. It's like building a monument to your own gullibility and then charging admission. The cave allegory, dating app edition. Remember Plato's cave? Well, congratulations, you're living in it, except instead of shadows on the wall, you're staring at carefully filtered Instagram photos thinking you've found enlightenment. The real world is out there, but you're too busy double-tapping your way to spiritual bankruptcy. Socrates would take one look at Tinder and say, so you're telling me people are making life decisions based on 5 photos and a bio that says, I love to laugh? That's not dating, that's playing Russian roulette with your emotional well-being. The examined life versus the swiped life. The unexamined life is not worth living, said Socrates. The unexamined desire, however, will get you a restraining order and a therapy bill that looks like the national debt. Here's what kills me about modern romance. Guys spend more time researching which Netflix show to binge than understanding why they turn into emotional jello every time a woman smiles at them. It's like being a food critic who's never tasted anything but baby formula. The Phaedrus problem, love is divine madness. In the Phaedrus, Socrates calls love a form of divine madness. Divine, maybe. But most of what I see today looks more like regular old garden variety stupidity with a subscription service. You're not possessed by Eros, you're possessed by your own desperate need for validation, like a philosopher with daddy issues and a smartphone. The soul pulled by lust becomes like a wingless creature crawling in circles. Congratulations, gentlemen, you've evolved into emotional Roomba vacuums, just mindlessly bumping into the same furniture over and over again. The 3-part soul, reason, spirit, and horny. Socrates divided the soul into 3 parts, reason, spirit, and appetite. In the modern dating world, that's been simplified to overthinking, desperation, and horny. Not exactly what the old philosopher had in mind, but hey, evolution's a bitch. Most guys today have souls that look like a food court at the mall. Everything's competing for attention, nothing's particularly good, and you leave feeling vaguely nauseated and significantly poorer. The Socratic paradox, knowing that you don't know jack. The wisest man is the one who knows he knows nothing. The stupidest man is the one who thinks he knows women. There's your paradox right there, gift wrapped with a bow made of your own ego. You want to know what's really hilarious? Guys who read one article about female psychology and suddenly think they're emotional archaeologists. That's like taking a first aid class and then performing open heart surgery. Good luck with that, Dr. Romance. The allegory of the dating cave. Picture this, you're chained in a cave, watching shadows on the wall, and you think those shadows are reality. Except the shadows are actually your own projections about what women want, based on romantic comedies and porn. The real women are outside in the sunlight, wondering why all the men are sitting in caves talking to walls. The forms, ideal woman versus actual woman. Plato talked about perfect forms, ideal versions of everything that exists. Most guys are chasing the form of woman while completely ignoring the actual, imperfect, human woman standing right in front of them. It's like preferring the idea of pizza to actual pizza because the idea doesn't have calories. The form of woman doesn't have mood swings, doesn't leave dishes in the sink, and definitely doesn't have opinions about your fantasy football team. The actual woman? She's got all of that and more. She's not a philosophy, she's a person. Mind-blowing concept, I know. The Symposium, love is a ladder, not a pit. In the Symposium, Socrates describes love as a ladder. You start with physical attraction and climb toward divine beauty and wisdom. Most modern guys never make it past the first rung. They're like spiritual couch potatoes, too lazy to climb and too stubborn to admit they're stuck. Diotima taught Socrates that love should elevate you. Instead, most of you are using it as an excuse to emotionally hibernate. That's not love, that's romantic narcolepsy. The Gorgias problem, pleasure versus good. In the Gorgias, Socrates destroys the idea that pleasure equals good. But tell that to a generation raised on instant gratification and participation trophies. These guys think if it feels good, it must be right, which is like using a magic 8-ball as your moral compass. Your pursuit of her approval isn't noble, it's pathetic. It's like being a grown man who still needs his mommy to cut the crusts off his emotional sandwiches. The modern tyrant soul. Socrates described the tyrant soul as one ruled by desire, always thirsty, never satisfied. Congratulations, fellas, you've achieved peak tyranny. You're emotional dictators ruling over kingdoms of one, and your only subjects are your own insecurities. The Memo paradox, can virtue be taught? Socrates wondered if virtue could be taught. Looking around today, I'm wondering if basic human dignity comes with an instruction manual that nobody's reading. Half these guys think virtue is something you download as an app. The mirror test. She's not your enemy, she's not your savior, she's a mirror. And most of you are too terrified to look at what she's reflecting back because it might not match your carefully curated self-image. That's not her fault, that's your spiritual cowardice dressed up in cologne and false confidence. The water and channel metaphor, stop chasing. You're trying to catch water with your bare hands instead of building a channel. She's not supposed to be captured, she's supposed to flow. But flow requires direction, and most of you couldn't find direction if it came with GPS and a personal tour guide. The Unshaken Man, or How to Stop Being a Human Bobblehead. The unshaken man isn't cold, he's got his own heat source. He doesn't need her warmth because he's not an emotional vampire feeding off someone else's energy. He's like solar panels for the soul, self-sufficient and environmentally friendly. The final hemlock, truth over comfort. Socrates chose death over dishonor, truth over comfort. Most of you can't even choose truth over a good night's sleep. You'd rather live in comfortable delusion than uncomfortable reality. That's not philosophy, that's emotional ostrich syndrome. The Carlin conclusion, wake up and smell the philosophy. Here's the bottom line, gentlemen, you're not philosophizing, you're rationalizing. You're not seeking wisdom, you're seeking validation. You're not following Socrates, you're following your own emotional GPS that's been recalibrating since puberty. The examined life isn't just about thinking deep thoughts while staring into your coffee cup like it holds the secrets of the universe. It's about looking in the mirror and admitting that maybe, just maybe, the problem isn't that she's too complicated. Maybe the problem is that you're too simple. So here's my advice, free of charge and worth every penny, stop trying to solve the mystery of women and start solving the mystery of why you think they're supposed to complete you. You're not half a person looking for your other half, you're a whole person who's been convinced by greeting cards in Hollywood that you're defective without a +1. Be unshaken, but not because you're made of stone. Be unshaken because you're made of something better, self-knowledge, genuine confidence, and the revolutionary idea that maybe, just maybe, you're worth knowing even when nobody else is watching. And if all else fails, remember what Socrates really taught us. The only thing you can know for certain is that you don't know jack shit. But at least that's a start. Now go forth and be less stupid. The world's counting on it.